Man, y'all already know what time it is. You're now tuned in with your guys, Joe T.
D. Johns.
And it's just two men having a grown conversation, man. And how you feeling?
I feel great, man. How you feeling is the question.
Little up and down, personal issues going on. And one is kind of heavy.
Yeah.
And it done made me most definitely put life in a different perspective, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And I want to say this to anybody who listen right quick. Don't take life for granted. Seize every moment. You know what I'm saying? I understand it might be lack of resources or finances or whatever the case may be. And a lot of times we'll sit in those moments and waste a lot of time. Spend time with your loved ones, them relationships, whatever the case may be. I promise you, it ain't nothing worth just letting things linger for a long time, man. And live your life. If you got anything or anyone attached to you, or you feel like that's restricting you from being who you know you are deep down inside, and it's starting to crush that creativity and that purpose in you, don't allow that to happen, man. That's the enemy, man. We got one life, like literally, we got one life, and when it's done,
it's a wrap.
It's over.
It's a wrap, man.
It's over.
Definitely feel you on that, man. Don't take your life for granted or the lives of those around you. When you shared with me what you shared with me, I was like, man, I remember going through that.
Yeah.
I want to say it's 2 years back to back.
Yeah.
I feel you, bro. Prayers up, covered.
Yeah.
Man, I'm here. You know that is there.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, you one of the few, you know what I'm saying, I hit, you know what I'm saying, wasn't, because I knew.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For sure. But yeah, man, before we started the podcast, my guy was asking what we want to talk about. There's something been trending here recently. Bittersweet situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like for our community, as far as men, because for one, I feel like a lot of our men in that lane of the culture get put in positions that could help the community, but it turned into something else. And what's so crazy about it, to me, is when the culture and friends and family on both ends of the stick, when the music becomes reality. And that's on me, baby.
That's on me, baby.
The Mo3 and Yellow Beezy situation.
Yeah.
Man, when I seen the arrest, I ain't even gonna lie, it shocked me. It shocked me that he would have that level of stupidity first and foremost to be have a trail to him that would have a connection to the person that's supposed to allegedly, took the life of Mo3. But I wanted to have this conversation and talk about the culture. I've been watching people go back and forth on both sides on saying they wanted justice and glad that they finna get justice. And then on the other end, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about how, that's what Mo3 lived. That's what he talked about. How is it that people upset that this happened? And it'd be crazy because I used to think about this when it came to my life. I remember thinking sometimes, if something happened to me, it's gonna be a free kill. And I was like, my people in a real conversation, they can be hurt, but in a real conversation, it was probably gonna be rightfully deserved.
Yeah.
And in this conversation, that's what I'm looking like. I'm looking at it like, I hate it. It's bittersweet. I don't know now one of them.
Yeah. They
both was talking about that. Would they have been happy and satisfied if it was vice versa? We having the same conversation, but to Mo3 family, I'm saying, if that happened the other way, y'all would have been applauding and clapping. That's what he deserved. That's what he get. Dude don't never play. He ain't never played. Shoe on the other foot is justice for my baby.
Yeah.
What you think about that, man? As a culture, like when we think, like, what is that?
So because I'm not from here. I've been here. I'm a transplant. I know you are too, but I never. When I got here, I wasn't on the scene like that. Like I wasn't out and about. I wasn't anywhere where I would run into them, the music or the conversation or the crowd. So I learned about these people as I was here. I never really listened to the radio when I got here, but over time, more so on YouTube, I started seeing who these people were.
Mm-hmm,
03,
mm-hmm.
Yellow Beezy, and a few Go Yayo and a few other ones. But I probably couldn't point them out in the lineup until about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So for me it's always the question of which was imitating what? Was the life imitating the music, or was the music imitating the life? And I don't know enough about either one. From what I hear and what I see, they say Mo3 was kind of really about that. Like that was the life that he was promoting. And then I've seen some interviews and some, social media stuff that he put out. But then again, that's a persona that you can control.
Right.
You could be the toughest person clip by clip. That doesn't mean that's your life. But it was enough that I've seen that suggested that he was really about that life and was really provoking situations. And then it seemed like it was going back and forth. They say Yellow Beezy kind of got forced into that life. And again, this is all hearsay for me. I'm not invested per se, but just in terms of objectively looking at it. And what struck me was, man, how far does it have to go for you to go that far? When you get in the industry, a lot of our people that get in the industry have never had money before, but they have habits. So when you put a lot of money with a lot of negative habits, the habits don't go away. The habits get put on Front Street.
Fed too.
Fed, yeah. And then you, maybe it's I'm not gonna do it, but now I got the bread. I can pay somebody to do it, like you said, the paper trail and all that. But even calling that, it's stupidity from the outside looking in. But my question is, like, where does the mind go once you're in that space and you really start to feel invincible? Like, I never hope I feel that. I know I felt like I had enough money to do some things that I couldn't do before. Never to that extent, negative. Negative in terms of what God wanted for me, but not getting people hurt. But I can't imagine when you have a persona that you put out there and now you can finance that persona, like what goes through your mind at that point. So that's when you said it, I was thinking about questions for you, like being in that life. How does the change happen in that life? Because you're not, I would imagine that you're not as gangster as you are when you start that life as when you finish that life, or the life finishes you. Like, what are those moments that push you further in or push you out?
The people around you. The people around you start feeding into that persona. Let's go back to Tupac, because everybody said, Tupac didn't have that life. That wasn't what he was on.
Yeah.
My man was in theater, he was acting, he was smart, he was intelligent, he was a backup dancer. Like, he really wasn't. I feel like once it popped off, the people around you feed that more so, because that intelligence don't leave, that wisdom don't leave, that who you are, it's still with you.
Yeah.
Now you done kind of had to flip that into, and I've seen like one of my homeboys, he like my best friend. He wasn't cut like that. Being around us, knowing you got one person, but he around, it could 2-3 people who live in a certain way. He had his mom and dad in his life. They went to service. Like, he had support. He could have been and done anything he wanted to do, which he got a great life now. But being around us, that influence, it was like he was kind of living through us and also tiptoeing in, trying to be something that he wasn't. And so when it come to people in the industry and the rap, I can only imagine, on top of being in an environment of people who yes men and just want you to continue to be a crash dummy and having money.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. And women probably be more of an influence than your homeboys. They're coming off as a gangster to them women who acting like that's what they into. They don't want lame people, dudes or corny dudes. It probably be the women more so. They be having these dudes popping off trying to continue to be tough. So that's just a few things I think, you know what I'm saying, where it go wrong versus having people telling you, man, you ain't got to do that. You ain't got to act like that. You ain't got to, man, bro, if that's going to turn you into that, bro, let's back up. Let's do something else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Is it the norm for the people that are in that life, when they see somebody that's not about that life, to tell them, yo, this ain't for you?
Man, Dave East, I've seen a few rappers, Dave East being one. Dave East talks about how when they started seeing the potential of where his career could go,
yeah,
they wouldn't let him come to the hood. They wouldn't let him be around the dope and all that. They would tell him, man, you the one. Like, we'll give you money. We'll make sure you got, but this, no, you can't. I've seen a few, but Dave East is one I've seen talk about that a lot. I ain't never had nobody who was in the streets that was trying to steer me away. Only people who was trying to steer me away was people I didn't want to hear from, like my teachers or basketball coaches. And so that's a good question. I'm interested to hear, people who that's probably on their way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If they done had people around them. Cause I listened to an interview a couple of days ago from Amber Rose on Shay Shay, and she was talking about Kanye West. She was talking about how he ain't got a bunch of yes men around. Ain't nobody correct him. And she was like, I was the one that used to tell him, hey, go in that room, look at some pictures of your mama, like sit down, like get that out, like cry if you need to, you know what I'm saying? But you ain't finna be acting out. And she was like, she was one of the few people that knew how to handle them, because she said she grew up like that with her mom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Her mom lost her mom. I think her mama was a addict, if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I apologize, but I know she said she learned how to deal with her mama on that emotional side at a young age, so she kind of knew how to deal with Kanye. So, yeah.
What is it, like, what's the progression getting into that life in terms of what keeps you in there? Because one thing you're talking about, we got all of the hurdles that they got, the money, the women, the people around them. But I think another disadvantage is we have stories that have glorified it for their whole life. Like, they can look at, I can imagine that they might make calculated decisions that if I die, if I end up in jail, it's worth it because of the way it looks from the outside. And then once you're in, I don't know if you feel like you're trapped and you can't get out, or you've kind of committed so much to it that you got to go through it. People believe this is who you are. Like, what is, like, for you, what was the constant pull in further?
Probably the last point you said. Once you in it, you continue to feel like you have to live up to it. I most definitely felt like that. Even though we was living like that, it was, once that narrative was out, it was almost like, you got to continue to live up to that for sure. I'm positive that's probably most men and women situation. Pride.
Yeah.
Man, pride will take you down through there. And I'll tell you, and then it was something you said earlier about being invincible. After so long, you done got away with so much, you don't believe it'll happen. That's just like death. There's certain people you just don't, it shocks you, like you never thought that. People start feeling invincible, man, when it comes to their money and things they able to do, how they been doing it, how they been treating people, talking to people. And then again, you got everybody around you, when they see this happen or heard it happen, they laughing, no correction. You just feel like you can just keep going and going and going and going. And before you know it, you end up in a situation like this. I said to myself, because I felt it when I saw the arrest and they put the mugshot up, I could smell the cell. I felt it. I said, man, I know he crushed.
Yeah.
Like, I will guarantee you his life flashed before him in ways he never imagined. He probably called himself stupid so many times, because just that fact, it's all gone. It's literally all gone. Every person you tried to please, every person you helped, every person you thought was with you, you're going to start putting things in perspective, but it's too late.
Yeah.
It's too late to do that. When they came and arrested me, bro, I thought about everything while I'm hearing the click. I thought about so much in that little, it was too late though.
Yeah.
Then none of it mattered. And none of it mattered. Not one argument, no beef, nothing. It was done.
Yeah.
It was done. So
it's interesting that you said that, because none of it matters at that moment. But I'd imagine, and I'm sure you'll correct me, when you get in the cell, all of that matters again, because that's the persona you bring it in there. And for those that are affiliated, which I think, I don't want to put nothing on him, but I believe he was affiliated with a group,
allegedly,
with a
is what
group
they
of,
say. Yeah,
of a certain type.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you get in there, like what is life like through that lens? And that's another thing that again, I can't say about him specifically or anybody in this case, but like there's the allegations that rappers associate with that for protection, but they're not really like that.
True.
So in some places they're respected, some places they're not. I guess when they're paying, they're respected. When they go other places, if they're not paying, they're not respected. But how does that impact surviving once all that stuff has to matter again when that cell closes?
That exact same thing follow you to jail and penitentiary. You paying your way, you having to continue that. But Tory Lane's doing it right now.
Ooh.
When I watched the video of them showing him in general population, I listened to his album. He has literally tricked his mind into believing that's honorable to show, I guess that's a level of masculinity or being tough. Like you are the one that's the multimillionaire that's helping the family, that's you in general population, cool. But you don't put your life in danger on the strength of wanting to be able to say, I won't finna let nobody put me in PC. So and it travel you to jail. As soon as you get there, for one, you're a rapper. Any rapper who go to jail and you were talking about that, they expect that of you. Point blank, period. And so it just follow you. And now you still fighting it though. It's still something in you that I done got in so deep. I can't even say, hey, look, that ain't even me.
Yeah.
It's over with. Cause then they upside your head. Yeah. then they upside your head. So one thing, this is what I've come to believe. To die a death of pride is foolish.
Right.
To continue to walk in and be in something you ain't that could take your life or just your sanity is not being a man. It was so many people around me, I've went through this in my own head. Man, you gotta retaliate and pop and hit them with that fire. If not, they gonna look at you as, that is crazy to convince myself. You have to risk your freedom to prove you tough, you hard, you gorilla, or you whatever the case. Then you go to jail, nobody seen her, nobody right, nobody, nothing. Same way to believe, man, I gotta go hard, and man, it's either me or him. Like, death is permanent, homie. Over what? What we doing it for?
Yeah.
At the end of, bro, what? This. So much has happened in the rap industry. That stuff just happened with, I forgot, Sauce Walker, his artist.
Yeah.
They killed,
Unalive.
I've been watching, they talking about NBA YoungBoy done came home, Pooh Shiesty in the halfway house. Something else happened with another rapper. I can't. And it's shocking to me to see that our community of black men ain't hosted some kind of come together. Like, what we doing? Like, where is this going?
Yeah, but who would though? Like who that has the influence would do that, that's not benefiting from all that negativity?
Probably somebody that ain't even thinking about it like that no more. It'll be Jay if you if you ask me. Hov, the only one I feel on that other side, but still connected in the culture.
Yeah.
Or Kendrick. It looked like Kendrick tried it, but only for the West, only for, Cali.
But even with that, man, that's I've seen some interviews where people from there, and I believe it was Whack 100 and Loose Cannon actually, which is a whole nother situation you saw with him and Big U, or Big U, that whole organization of a certain type. Were saying that from the outside looking in, it looked like that. Like that was
That's what
publicity. Like, but the actual people that are active weren't necessarily
involved.
Won't necessarily come to Jesus for that. Like it looked good for the coast. And that's the other thing, man. Like, how does it? Let's stay on Whack 100, right? Because Whack says that now he's a blood, a Paru, I believe, but he doesn't get active when he sees somebody that's from another set, another gang. He said he's not on it like that because him and Loose Cannon be connecting. He stayed clicking up with somebody that's a Crip. What is it like? It seems like that's a process of growing out of a certain phase of it. Like what is it like inside of it? Just coming into an organization, like how does that hate get bred to just because you're not in the same organization? We fire.
That's exactly how it goes. Well, first I'm gonna say this about Whack 100. If Whack 100 went to the penitentiary, I don't know about that on the West Coast. If he went to the penitentiary, they gonna smash him. The stuff Whack 100 talk about and the stuff that he do as far as being affiliated, it's really a no-go. Like he really gossip a lot. He talk about too much. You know what I'm saying? He entertain like that. That's really a no-go, and that's just insane to me. And I don't condone that life. I ain't with it, but knowing where I come from and being a part of that, that would be a no-go. Half of the stuff he do and get away with, it's mind blowing to me. But what was the question again?
Just like how's the hate bred? Like how's it taught to?
Man, I used to always say it amazes me how the Taliban back then, I don't know, can brainwash somebody to the point of putting a bomb on them and going in and yeah, and watching. That's
a great point.
That's pretty much how the gangs and the affiliation organization, whatever you want to call them, they all the same. Slaves. Some of the stories I used to hear about slaves, I'm trying to compare it to make it make sense. They would take the strongest man and break them in front of the men, children, women, all that. It's the same thing with gangs, really. They instill fear in you of who's running what and who can, because just think about it. Why am I taking orders from you? Because they have instilled it in me that you can do harm to me as if we don't put our pants on the same way, one leg at a time, and we bleed the same way. But for some reason, I feel like you're some kind of superhuman that I can't say nothing to, I can't do nothing to, because not only have you instilled fear in me to feel that way, you also done instilled in all these other people who are brainwashed and slow and stupid enough for you to be able to say, unalive this person. If you think about that in reality as a man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that was one of my reasons of walking away. Like I had so many talks in myself, scared, but knowing, man, if you do that, they can, man, they can stab me. They can, man, I got to the point, and this is it. These are almost my exact words verbatim. Whatever gonna have to happen, because I'm a man. And ain't no way that fear of coming over me of what they can do to me and what they can tell me to do at any given time, that I'm supposed to be okay with that? Like, you could literally come to my door. I could be sitting here studying, chilling, and you could say, bruh, such and such just happened. You got to go stab this. Huh? And I don't have no say so. I ain't got to hear what happened, when it happened, who involved. No, go. And in my mind, I know I can hear my mama, my daddy, I can hear all these people knowing, don't you do nothing like that. And fear overcome all of that. If you don't, they're going to do it to you.
So for you, it was fear because you never with drugs and alcohol, right?
Nuh-uh.
So it like I know for some that's an issue, or that's a pathway to medicate them, like sedate them with drugs and alcohol. But the fear is that powerful for a sober-minded person.
Yeah.
To still make that decision to follow the instructions. I can only imagine what it is with somebody that's compromised in life, compromised in spirit, compromised in a will, let alone adding drugs and alcohol to it.
Yeah.
So getting to that point of walking away, like what is that really like? Because it's the horror stories, and I know God has covered you. So this is not about speaking anything into or over your life in a negative manner, but I imagine there's people that really believe that they can't.
Oh, most definitely. That's another thing. They've instilled that you can't. Even when people online hear me talk about I walked away, they still say, even though I don't never see you that way. You gonna always, their mind is so warped in thinking that that's in and all forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing how they do that. I don't know. It's witchcraft, bro. But me walking away, I was most definitely covered. Like, even when I tell the story of how it happened, like how everybody got moved to another prison, like how it happened, like it was the most high for sure. But most people I know in gangs and organizations that's in it like that, a lot of them really believe that's their family. They believe that's all they know. They believe that's what it is. They have, to them, even in unrighteous, doing things that they know put their family in harm's way, or that they believe they done this with people or connected to people who fool with them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't tell them otherwise, even though you done what they call the rack, where they basically put you in violation and beat you up maybe because you didn't pay something on time or whatever. They go to it, and then at the end of the day, they look at it as we family. And it's so many men who have not experienced people caring about them or love. They think that's what it looked like. Me, even though I had people who loved me or cared for me, I think my thing, Dijon, was I just felt like that life was it over, having living a decent life and being a decent person.
Regular person.
Yeah. But the majority of them that I have met, they're still there. They believe that's all it is. They believe that's all they have. And if they walked away, on top of being brainwashed, they literally don't know where to start. It's worse than slavery, almost, bro. And people are trying to say, ain't no way to listen to me. You stripping identity, you stripping man, you stripping so much from a person in a different way that in this day and time, bro, it's bad. Cause I've been in I've had conversations 101. They won't say this around when we in front of everybody. I've seen them cry, and I ain't just talking about what I was affiliated with. I'm the Crips, Vice Lords, you name it, Aryan Nation, uh, the essays. I've had 101. Like, man, I'm tired of it. But man, and won't they just scared to leave, or they feel like if I leave, how I survive? Who I go to and ask for something to eat when I ain't got nothing to eat? Who if something pop off and somebody got somebody else riding with them, who gonna ride with me? Cause they gonna play that on you too. You ain't got no protection.
Yeah.
So it's tough, but to me at the end of the day, your freedom here and here is worth it. And I still to this day get a lot of them who hit me and say, bro, I'm proud of you. I'm glad to see you doing what you're doing. They scared to walk away though, even if they see an example.
What do you think the let me back up. How long you been in the music industry? Or do you even consider yourself in the music industry? You just create when you want to create?
I create when I want to create. But if I'm gonna say before I went in, I rapped a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to count before I went in. It's been over 15, but since I've been home, I done dropped 2 albums since I've been home, and then the one I'm working on now. And really at this point now, it is because of the platform that I've been blessed to have to create some kind of balance and be a voice. Knowing that music is very influential.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I'm like, when it come to that lane, I know I could say something that could probably make somebody see something, you know what I'm saying, in a different light. So
What's the it's kind of pivoting a little bit, but I think it makes sense. because we've had some conversations and paying attention to your posts, like pressure, like the pressure of your platform, the pressure of doing right, the pressure of being what you say you now are, and the pressures of people depending on you to keep that kingdom afloat. Like if it, I could, and I'm only imagining, I know you, but I don't know you.
Go ahead.
Like if your kingdom falls, what the domino effect is on that. I know what it is in a house of 7. So I can only imagine with seemingly sure, safe income, but for all of what you are and your boldness to still evolve in front of people, number one, I commend it. But like, what's the pressure?
That's a good one. The pressure is it's there. I do a lot of self-reflecting. I hold myself accountable for a lot of things. And the pressure, I can only lighten it up when I'm being real with myself and understanding that a lot of that is superficial. Like what recently just happened. I took another step back, which I do it every now and then. But this, I looked at it and said, I'm not responsible for people, especially when it comes to the platform. I'm just a vessel. To convince myself that I have to continue for people that supported me or look at me as a role model or influencer or whatever the case may be, I'm still not responsible for their growth. I'm not responsible for them to get up today and say, I'm going to push through because of somebody. That's the only way to relieve the pressure. And when it comes to the financial end, when it comes to that, I know the Most High not only blesses to put you in a position to have a decent life, if we want to talk finances, He also blesses you in the wisdom department and the knowledge to say, when I give it to you, if you don't forget, if you continue in my teachings, you'll understand multiple multiple income streams. So it ain't just you relying on that. And I feel like a lot of times people, when it get good, and it's probably the first time you feel like it's been good for you and it's flowing, and you don't think that you can't see 10 years ahead of eventually this might look different.
Yeah.
With my books, when I first started with the books, when I was selling 1,000 books a month, I did this. When I ain't gonna say I sold 1,000 books for 2 years straight, but for 2 years I was doing numbers. I probably went sometimes months at a time while I was selling 1,000 books a month. That looked like the dope game. It looked like I can do this forever. I'm gonna be able to keep selling 1,000 books for the next 7, 8 years. It felt like that. Before it slowed down, I went and got the box truck, and I was like, how long can I do this? And then I looked at the account, I was like, and to relieve that pressure, to already try to look ahead, like, let me relieve that just in case it slow down. You know what I'm saying? So that's the mindset I have to try to relieve that pressure. But it is some pressure, man. And you can almost compare it to the streets of the conversation we were just having. You're trying to live up to the influence of people around you versus yourself.
Yeah.
And that can affect you negatively too, especially because when the scriptures say where there is no wise counsel, a man fall. You can be in this position if you ain't got some wise counsel versus people who telling you what you want to hear, doing all the things you probably don't need to be doing, and spending your money on a whole bunch of things you ain't got financial advisors or people around you that can help explain, hey, I done made them mistake before. You probably need to, when you ain't got that around you, you know what I'm saying? It can look the same way. The devil just done dressed it up different in a sense, but nah, man, I come up out of that pressure every now and then. Sometimes I give into it because it's healthy for me to an extent. to an extent to feel the pressure. If I'm gonna be honest, I thank God for it. It do keep me balanced to keep going and be on the positive end versus crashing. Knowing you being held to a different, you know what I'm saying, standard, it keeps me balanced. Even though I can still say, I don't gotta do nothing for you. It's beautiful to get a 15, 16-year-old kid, or, you know what I'm saying, or a parent reach out to me and say, hey, you know, my son be listening to your videos. They don't know I'm reaching out to you, but, you know, sometimes that keep me balanced, you know what I'm saying? So I can respect the pressure on that end, for sure.
Is there anything that scares you about growth?
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
What it looks like when it keep growing. Because in the beginning, it was fun. In the beginning, it was, man, this is happening for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I can go here, I can spend this, I can, you know, I was financial freedom hit, you know, and then it kept growing. And more people started messaging, and more people wanted advice, and more people wanted guidance, and more people wanted the recipe. And all of it's beautiful. Well, then you get to a certain level and then you start wondering what that look like 2 years from now if it keep growing like that. And the only way to really, if you believe in the scripture, then you know, man, that's a part of it. That's what comes with that. And you have to be grounded in that to understand that calling and not just look at it like, because it could feel like you suffering even in success. It could feel like even in this blessing, I feel burdened. It's heavy. People only are here for these reasons, and they only contacted me because they want. It starts to feel, but you have to understand in a calling, that is what it is.
Yeah.
Broken, unhealed, leeches, greed. One thing I learned about my granny is she was able to call a spade and not treat you different. Loved you.
But she knew what you were.
She knew you, yeah. And you have to understand that in the calling, you know who people are, treat them accordingly, but you ain't gotta be rude, you ain't gotta be mean. If you know you don't need to be there, detach yourself. You ain't, you know what I'm saying? So you have to just understand that's a part of it. And even though you get frustrated in it, it's okay, because sometimes a realization come in that frustration too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whether it be about other people or yourself, all of it's a lesson. It just depends on how you look at it. And I'm optimistic about everything. I don't think negative about things. You know what I'm saying? I'm always looking at the brighter side, and I ain't always looking at things just God's provision for me. I had a brother tell me one time in a penitentiary, because it was some ministers I didn't like to go down there and listen to. And he told me, he said, that word might not be for you. You might need to listen to that, and somebody else might need to hear it.
Yeah.
From that, you know what I'm saying? You might go and hear something that ain't for you. You might be talking to somebody and be like, dang.
To come out, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It might not even be for you. What I'm looking at, things continue to grow for me, and the whole time it might be, you know what I'm saying, somebody else, and it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's hard to do. But it is what it is.
How much of your future success do you think depends on you staying grounded in the word?
All of it. I ain't even gonna lie to you, man. I genuinely feel like if the minute, and this ain't even no jinx, I ain't gonna knock on wood or nothing. If I turn, he gonna take me. I'm only here on my vow and my saying and my yes. My success is tied in being centered to him, and I believe that. I haven't been able to do, I wouldn't be right here without it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be real with you though, I'm so locked in with the king. I don't know what it looked like without him. I really don't. I don't know how to. I can't go nowhere with having a conversation with any person 30 minutes in and you ain't hearing me reference something about him, the word, something spiritual, something that you know what I'm saying? I did. It's impossible for me to do. So for me to pivot it would be me going in a dark place. And I just can't see it, man. I really believe that's why a lot of the interviews that I've been told I was gonna get because I don't think I think they know I can't sit on the couch and not. I can't. I just don't believe I can, man. I don't want to do it without him in the beat. I don't want to do it without him because I don't think it would be as peaceful. For sure. I don't think I would apply the discernment that most people who want success when it comes to tangible things, material things, they don't care about having discernment. They want the bag.
Yeah.
They don't care about trying to read the room. They looking at it as this door open, this opportunity. And you ain't knowing, it ain't nothing but devils and demons in here. You looking at it like, and then before you know it, you done got so far down this road. Now you playing it back. This person ain't this, and they lied, and this, and that. You ain't care to have discernment. It's no way you're walking in the spirit and you thinking you can go in and defeat these devils and demons. For one, you ain't feeding your spirit. Second thing is you ain't even got the spiritual lens on to try to see what's going on. It ain't no way you believe as an individual, if you ain't been feeding yourself, that you going to walk in a room full of devils and demons who've been devils and demons all their life, and you going to go in here and steal your blessing and ain't going to become a devil or a demon. I don't believe that.
Yeah.
It just ain't possible. So, I know it keeps me safe knowing that's a no. And if you don't want to take that as a no, it just won't happen. Yeah. I'll do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. When it came to Cam Newton, like me and Cam Newton had a whole conversation. Send me the book. I said, you want the book? The man said, duh, like send it to me. Sent me the address to his house. You know what I'm saying? Had his assistant hit me up, boom, boom. I don't know what happened. If I had to say what happened, I genuinely believe he probably read the book and was like, this a lot. But I'm gonna come on here and talk about the king, man. This is point blank period. So I can't see what it would be like without him. And to know, man, Dijon, to know I can accredit my whatever they want to call it success to him is better than anything I can ever say. It ain't a credit, man. This person, that man. All my stories gonna connect to him. I give you one real quick. When I came home, bro, I had a dude, Keith Bell, R.P. Keith Bell, man, who taught me. I saw him selling the books. And I messaged him from the cell, and I was like, bro, how you doing that? He was in the malls. He said, bro, just go to the leasing offices and tell them, you know what I'm saying, get your contract or whatever. It sounded easy. So I got out. I hit him and asked him again. He told me what to do. I wouldn't have done it. But I'm doing it in basically my hometown. But then I wanted to branch out because I saw him going to different states. I was like, let me try that. Bro, I went to Atlanta. I had like $2,500 books, $2,500. I spent almost all of that on books. And then I had like 10 outfits because I'm still in my first year home. I had 2 pairs of shoes. I didn't have a car. I had my license at the time. I'm finna go to Atlanta, and I still ain't really mentally adjusted. I'm going by myself. I got 500 books. I go out here, bro. The girl I was dealing with at the time take me. She dropped me off. I had an Airbnb. I'm believing faith. I said, I'm gonna get an Airbnb. I got enough, you know what I'm saying, for 3 days, for a weekend. Because the contract I had was 30 days at the mall. I said, I got enough for the weekend. I'm going to sell a couple books, and then I'll just keep paying for the Airbnb. Bro, I get there, listen to me. I about sell probably 10, 15 books over the weekend. I'm not making nothing. I'm taking the train. I don't know nothing. My mama called and asked me, how was it going? I said, it ain't going too good. I said, I might have to cut it short. And she was like, why? So I told her, and I was like, I ain't going to be able to keep affording, you know what I'm saying, to pay. And then, you know what I'm saying, I got to eat every day. And then, and of course, And then, man, the train, I'm paying for everything. So she was like, I know somebody out there we're supposed to be related to. She called her. The woman said, yeah, he can come over here. Then the woman, she called her back and she said, no, because I think she called my cousin Brian. And Brian was probably like, man, you don't know, dude, like, dude's story, wow, like, no. And she was like, well, let me think about it. She said she went to sleep that night. She said she heard the voice of God so loud say, house him and feed him, house him and feed him, house him and feed him 3 times. Said she woke up out of her sleep and called my mama and told my mama, I don't know who this boy is, I don't know what he's doing, but you tell him to get over here and get here now. She said it was that clear. I never met this woman a day in my life. I go over there, and she gave me her entire downstairs, I'm talking about pool table, wash and dry, everything I needed, like point blank told me, you ain't got to worry about nothing. And every morning I got up, I had a meal. Every afternoon I came in, I had a meal. She let me stay there, but I ended up giving her some money here and there. But it's things like that I just can't make up. Like she told me the story when she was like, it scared me. She was like, I don't know what it is. She said, I heard him say, house him and feed him 3 times. And
that's wild, man. It's I mean, I don't have any. Well, when you said your mom called it, that sounds like my mom.
Yeah,
because when we moved from Hampton, Virginia to Northern Virginia, like near DC,
mm-hmm.
I had a job there, but I didn't. My family wasn't able to move because kids were in school.
Mm-hmm.
So I went up there, like kind of commuting. So it was like a 3-hour drive from where I was to where I worked. I would drive in, get up Monday morning at like 4 a.m.,
mm-hmm.
be on the road by 5, get to work, stay with a family friend
mm-hmm.
through the week. Friday, I'm driving back. We came into a conflict with the family friend where her son was actually coming home from
mm-hmm.
Penitentiary. And she was like, hey, space is an issue. My mom gets on the phone, calls a church in the area that was of the same denomination.
Mm-hmm.
Just said, hey, my son needs somewhere to stay. She worked on that kind of faith. Found somebody within a couple of days, and I'm still doubting it. Like, I don't know these people. And if you take that attitude, you can miss out on a lot of what God has for you. Because it ain't really for you to know, like, it's for you to take the step that he shows you, not to see the whole staircase kind of thing. So I definitely, I get that. But I think it takes repetition, man. It's not
True.
It's not something that you kind of wake up. Maybe somebody can, but it's typically not something that you wake up and you have this belief, this trust,
true,
this dependency on God that you haven't had for the last 30 years.
That's true.
So you got to start to trust him with the small things.
Yeah.
You say, you faithful with small things, he'll make you rule over many.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I see my life right now. This last week, I've had so many confirmations about what I'm doing is the right thing. The people that I can't say they're not connected, but not having a conversation about me. Just reaching out saying, hey, this is that. Hey, this is that. You know what I'm saying? And it's finally starting to click. Like, and I realized this morning when you texted me. I was taking my son to school. I was like, I wanted this an audio message. That's your thing.
Yeah. For sure.
Hit you with a conversation.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot that question.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I was like, okay, you're trying to rock this morning. And I realized that when God gives you confirmation, you can't respond with conditions for your obedience.
Ooh.
If he's saying do this, you got to get to the doing this part of it, not the like you said with Gideon a couple episodes back. Like
for sure.
But if Lord,
now for real.
And I realized that I've been a whole lot of. I mean, can it look like this? Can it feel like this? I would encourage people to, this is this is not a Bible study, folks.
For sure.
But study the Bible.
Also. For sure. Yeah, repetition.
But also that, but just being open to the unknown. Because I think a lot of God's blessings are in the unknown.
Yeah.
Because they say if we actually saw our futures, we wouldn't know how to manage it.
That's a fact, because the scripture, it'll say, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Yeah. And that means, when he said be transformed, it means to form new ideas it's only one way to form them new ideas, and that's repetition. You have to pour that out and get that into you. Because imagine I'm 37, for me 38 December. Majority, 85% of the life I've lived was based on the world. That's all the information I have.
Yeah.
So trying to get repetition in me on the faith, spiritual end, was tough. You want me to have faith when I haven't never operated in faith.
Yeah.
So it takes the build up, the unlearning of a thing. It's no different than a relationship. That's why people, when they talk about you have to have a relationship with him, how is it that you're trying to understand him, or when he talking, like we talked about, you have no repetition of the relationship to understand it's him.
Yeah.
You can be in a relationship with your spouse or friend, and because of how long you've been around this person, you know certain things.
Tendencies, yeah.
You know it.
Yeah.
That's the same thing when it comes to a relationship with him. For me, I will stamp that. I know when he talking. I know when he done said no, and I went on and done it anyway.
You said no to all of it?
I know. Even in the turnouts of things, it don't surprise me. I might not, it might stun me like, man, but I knew before I done it. Because I got them patterns with, I have enough patterns with him that's insanely, I don't even, because people will say I'm crazy.
Yeah.
But I know, like, it's like, yeah. So yeah, I love my relationship with him. I really do. I love my relationship with the King. Regardless of what anybody believe when it comes to that Bible, what they can never take from a person, an individual, is personal experience.
That's true. And don't discount your personal experiences, man.
Yeah.
Because they don't look like everybody else's.
Right.
That means you were chosen.
That's good right there. That's good. Don't compare.
Yeah.
Comparison will crush you.
Be for sure.
Because you trying to figure out, you want yours to look like somebody else's, or wondering why yours, you know what I'm saying? And you cannot do that. And a lot of times you comparing, sometimes you probably don't even want to put your feet in that person's shoes, because that person's shoes might not feel like a blessing to you.
At all.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You don't even want my feet.
Right.
That's on my shoes.
Man, for real. So yeah, man. Yeah, man, I'm glad I came and
me too, bro.
Had this conversation, man. I knew it was needed. More so, you know what I'm saying, just to get around your energy, man. It's been a tough few days, man. We're coming out of it. I know we gotta keep going, gotta keep pushing, because one thing I learned in a very quick moment was life kept going. Life kept going, bro. So that's it for me, man. Unless you got something else to say.
End it right there, bro.
That's what's up, man. Blessing.